The exams began smoothly in Wajir County, but there are worries of pounding rainfall. To get more on this, we are now joined by correspondent Faisal Abdurrahman from Wajir. Faisal, talk to me. I'd like to know from Faisal how the KCPE exams are being taking place. We do know that some of the officials on the ground were a little bit concerned about the weather conditions and how it will disrupt the exams. There are also security concerns as well. Could we listen into a story that was done by Zinzi Kibiku before we speak to Faisal?
It is heads down for about 532 of the Standard 8 pupils here in Kibera.
Yes.
Math is the first exam Tuesday morning. Olympic Primary School was one of the hotspots in the repeat presidential election.
Children are being brought in by their parents because of fear, following what happened yesterday and what has been happening a few weeks ago. The children came in and we paraded them and then we talked to them. We told them not to fear anything. And after counseling, they got settled. And we settled them in the classrooms. And then we started the exam.
We've had the longest campaign period in the history of this country. People have campaigned for over 4 months. These campaigns in any outposts, rural area, happens in a primary school. These politicians with their 4x4 vehicles and their choppers land in primary schools, even if they're having a meeting in the neighboring area. So education has been disrupted.
We had to take time to counsel them and to assure them of the security in the school and to remove the fear from them. So it took a little bit of the time, so we delayed by 5 minutes. And we began the exam at 8:35 a.m.
The violence witnessed in Kawangware 56 had raised fears on the exam security for the constituency. In Kawangware Primary School, students received counseling a day prior to the exam due to the unrest in the country. The school has a total of 256 pupils sitting for the KCPE, with 3 absentees who transferred.
Inaonekana wamejiandaa vizuri, isipokuwa ni hiyo tension ilikuwa wako sawa.
An adult mind, you are able to process what is happening in the country and know how it will affect you. But the children do not have that capacity. But we are loading this over them. So it's very difficult for them to make the right decision.
It is responsible of us as Kenyans at this time and this point in time to give our children an opportunity to realize their full potential. They have invested in themselves for 8 years, for 4 years. Let them realize their investment.
Education officials have exuded confidence of a security for both candidates and the exam papers. In Langata, exam papers taken Tuesday were smoothly administered, packed and ready for delivery to the Kenya National Exams Council.
Today, like in Nairobi, we've deployed all our security team. We have had quite a number of officers from the prison service, the administration police service, and the national police service. So they have all been here today to ensure that this exercise is a success. And the same was replicated across the country. So every center manager who is the head teacher, who was the one picking the exam in the morning, is the same person who delivers the exam in the evening, so that the person is accountable.
Cabinet Secretary Fred Matiang'i was in Makueni to kick off the countrywide exercise. He says action will be taken on anyone found guilty of any exam interference.
It's because of you that our children who have spent 8 years in school are now ready to move on to the next level in education. You do perhaps the most important job in this country because you are helping educate our children, but most importantly, raise our children.
We hope there will be any monkey business, and we are assured of that by most of the teachers.
Last year, about 942,000 people sat for the KCPE exam. This year, that number is at 1 million. The government has also bought 20 modern scanning machines to make sure that the exam is effective and accurate. Zinzi Kibiku, KTN News, at the Olympic Primary School in Kibra.